we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days.
Everybody, and this is something I know as a dentist, it's amazing how important this is. Wash your hands well. And washing your hands well, I don't need to go into the nitty-gritty here, but doesn't mean just running them under some water real fast. It means warm water. It means at least 20 seconds. It means soap, you know. And I was taught in the courses that I went to, you should sing happy birthday in your head twice and then rinse your hands off.
Well, and I think by limiting large group events such as basketball games, concerts, and I believe even as well that the children should be sent home from school and let them start their spring break just a little early.
Okay, so you have patients, multiple patients who were in Italy. They are back. They're diagnosed with coronavirus. Now, what we've mostly heard is you're most at risk if you're in your 70s or 80s, if you have an underlying health condition. But that doesn't tell us the whole story. Tell us about your patients and the caution you want to give.
Sure, there were 13 patients that went on a ski trip to Italy. Only 2 of them are my patients, but I know about all of them. And of the 13, within a day of skiing, 1 of them became ill. And then 2 to 3 days later, they all became ill. By the time they got back, they were coughing, some of them were short of breath. And out of the 13, 4 were hospitalized. Now, it turns out that out of the 4 that were hospitalized, 2 in their 40s, 1 was in his 50s, 1 was in his 60s, and only 1 of them had a pre-existing medical condition. But 3 of them right now are in the ICU, and my patient, fortunately, was discharged. Additionally, another member of that group went to the hospital yesterday, but was sent home. So this is really a virus we've not seen before. If anything, I can tell you that the oldest member of that group was 82, and he's done the best of everybody.
Well, that's encouraging.
Which is a drug used in malaria. And this might work. We're developing treatments and cures in real time, and it's going to be a very big challenge for the medical community.
So what is your advice to folks out there now? People swing back and forth between hearing the worst and seeing what's happening in Italy, this explosion of cases. And then we hear, if you're not in one of those categories, you shouldn't be especially worried that there are millions of flu cases in the U.S. every year and thousands of deaths. Give us some perspective.
No, I'd be happy to. I mean, you're right, we have to socially distance. I think schools should be closed because we don't want 35 kids in a classroom becoming ill and then going home hugging grandpa and then he ends up in the ICU. But we cannot panic about this. That's not what Americans do. I heard today that there was a line around a drugstore to buy toilet paper, and COVID-19 doesn't really cause diarrhea. Use a good hand sanitizer and don't go to large groups. Avoid movies, concerts, basketball games. My understanding is the NBA just canceled its season. Or something to that effect. And, you know, I really think that those are the things we have to avoid. But we'll get through this.
Yeah, we know
the other thing is we have to make sure
go ahead.
that this does not become political. This is not, coronavirus will attack whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, whether you're rich or you're poor. So the solution has to be something we come up with as Americans. And I think we can do this. We've done it before. We will get through this. But please stay safe. Don't overreact. Don't panic. Let's all be there for each other.
Yeah, exactly the president's message tonight.
I got a paper from a friend of mine, the former Minister of Health, Chen Zhu, telling me that he had treated 10 patients with plasma therapy, antibodies that had been taken from patients who'd recovered, and all 10 of these patients did well. This is an old method that we used before we had antibiotics, and it'll work here too. So this is something that we think will make a huge difference in morbidity and mortality.
Question. First thing, a pandemic does not mean lethal. Most of the time, people do just fine with this coronavirus. Point number 1. Point number 2, people will do just fine in their daily lives if they take some common sense approaches to protecting themselves and to protecting their families. Most important thing, hand washing. Wash your hands. Soap and water is cheap. Purell is okay. Soap and water does great. The next thing, if you're sick, you stay home. And when I saw President Trump's speech, it was fantastic because he's supporting people to stay home, to stay away so they don't infect other people. These are the mainstays of how we are going to bend the curve on this pandemic.
Or are immunocompromised should stay home. They should, just to ride through this. We probably shouldn't have huge mass gatherings as we normally do. And again, this is going to, in time, in a short amount of time, we're going to be able to go to life as normal. And younger people, as long as they have good nutrition, and everybody, and this is something I know as a dentist, it's amazing how important this is. Wash your hands well. And washing your hands well, I don't need to go into the nitty-gritty here, but doesn't mean just running them under some water real fast. It means warm water. It means at least 20 seconds. It means soap, you know. And I was taught in the courses that I went to, you should sing happy birthday in your head twice and then rinse your hands.